Hey guys, how you doing? Box Office Banter here, and we're back with episode 56, and we're finally doing some franchise reviews again, and we're coming at you with, if you can see it, The Hobbit. And this is going to be an unexpected journey for me, Josh, and Tyler, as we are actually not really familiar with this franchise at all. Actually, I had seen the first one and that was it, because back in the day my head was stuck up my ass. I couldn't get into this Middle Earth shit. I'm older now, I really appreciate it and enjoy it, but I only saw the first one and it wasn't even like appealing to me at the time. So when I rewatched it, I felt like I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. 2 and 3 completely first time viewings for me. And that's how
first viewings for me for all of them.
So yeah, same first viewing for me.
Hopefully we can make this podcast somewhat up to par. What about you, Rodney? How are you on these movies?
I've watched these. Lord of the Rings is amazing, the whole series. So.
The whole thing.
So yeah, I've watched these a few times.
Nice. And of course we did the long as fuck.
The extended cut's the only ones to watch.
Very extended. So we're jumping right into it.
We're Banner Buddy of the Week.
Off, dude. Man.
My brother, congratulations to my brother and his wife Marissa. They just had their first baby. I'm an uncle.
Congratulations.
To a nephew.
All that hard work paid off.
So we got one more viewer watching.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 4 days old, but...
He's watching.
Yeah, he's watching.
He's already a fan. It's great. Yeah.
Let's get into it. An unexpected journey, apparently.
Unexpected, too. I'll say this much. Not even being a diehard fan of, like, the Rings trilogy or the Hobbit trilogy, I felt how epic this had to be for like diehard fans of Lord of the Rings. Like when they were like coming into this shit, like just having that moment of just, I can imagine being a diehard Lord of the Rings fan and hearing about this prequel fucking series coming out, you know, done by like the same people. You got the same actors, a lot of the same actors coming back, and it just, I can only imagine how epic this was. I don't know if it was that way for you, Rodney, but this, like, it had to have been monumental.
It had some heavy shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Absolutely, this trilogy did.
So was it more like nerves, or was it like, this is about, they got the right pieces, I can't fucking wait?
Well, after Lord of the Rings, because I didn't know that they were going to do a Hobbit movie. I thought it was over Lord of the Rings. But then when the Hobbit, they announced it, I was like, they can't top Lord of the Rings because it's Lord of the Rings. So
I feel like, given who like they're bringing back, and like, I feel like you could almost tell by the trailer how magnificent it looked.
Oh yeah,
and just everybody that was involved. I feel like if I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings at the time, I would have just lost my shit. But of course, at the time, I was like, more of this bullshit. And then I remember seeing this one, and I was like, good God, I couldn't stand it.
Well, they did right by bringing Peter Jackson back, because if it wasn't him, there's nobody else could have done it.
Who would have done it? I'm trying to even think.
Yeah, it's one of those you can't really touch. Like in 30, 40 years, do a remake or a reboot or whatever, but as of right now, nobody.
And what's fucked up, I kind of talked to you about this before, is like, even though I had seen this movie before, this is how much I wasn't paying attention, or this is how much I wasn't into Lord of the Rings at the time. I legitimately was like, oh shit, Gandalf is in this. I was like, how much did I watch this movie that like I couldn't piece together? Because I remember like seeing this. There's like 3 select scenes. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. But I was so tuned out, and I guess I wasn't even into Lord of the Rings at that time yet. But I thought I'd like at least somewhat liked it, but I guess not, because I couldn't even match together like, oh, it's that Gandalf fucker.
One of the biggest characters.
Yeah, like I was just lost. I was like, this might as well be a first time watch too. Like the second and third ended up being, but I had seen this one other time, but it like that's how like lost it was on me. So it might as well have been my first watch. It was funny seeing Frodo even for a second.
Yeah, they did. They brought him back.
And Lord Elrond and shit. That was cool shit.
As you got right there, Brandon got the 4K set. Therefore, we all got to watch this in 4K.
God. I'm so glad I bought it. I was nervous about it, but I'm
this
glad
is
I
kind of my first time watching these movies also, because I waited like a while to see them on 4K, and this happened to be a perfect opportunity. So I still haven't even seen Lord of the Rings in 4K yet. So, but this looks so good.
Oh yeah,
in 4K. Peter Jackson put in so much work to get all 6 of these movies restored into 4K, and he killed it.
Dude,
beautiful.
I mean, you got to be committed to sit down and watch these 3 movies in the week span that we had.
Yeah.
Not over 9 hours of movies,
Mhm.
but in the 4K on my TV.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about on yours, Brandon.
Yeah.
I know that had to been rough.
Dude,
I was waiting for something like
yeah,
that.
I wish y'all could have seen it because it is ridiculous.
Mm.
It was absurd how good the quality of this
Oh, yeah.
movie was.
These are the definition
only
of
imagine.
theater films. Like
Yeah.
these are movies that you need to watch in a theater setting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want
like
to see it on IMAX.
Yeah. Well, they're this is the 20-year anniversary this year
Mhm.
of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So they're releasing it like in India, like all sorts of different places right now in IMAX.
Mhm.
So hopefully that comes
That'd
here
be
soon.
legit.
Yeah, because the last time they did it was like a month or two ago they did it,
We
but it was
talking
like a
extended
4-hour
cut, too?
drive. Yeah.
Oh damn!
I don't know if it was
4-hour
gonna be the
drive and
4K.
a 4-hour stay. And then a 4-hour drive. That's 12 hours. That's half
full
a day. That's literally a half a day. Holy
Hell
shit!
yeah.
I don't know if I'm that committed. I will say though, I did find myself, even though you're talking about commitment, where like I was looking forward to the next one the next day. Like I was so
Yeah, me too.
interested in
Mhm.
where these
The story.
stories
It's the lore of
were
it.
gonna go. Yeah, the Lord, heart. You know,
They stepped it up in
Savior,
each
what have you.
movie.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
So yeah, the Peter Jackson, in my opinion, is the goat of flashbacks. Okay, I think when it comes
Yep.
to like movies and having flashbacks, like nobody does it better than him. Which
can
is
see
where this
that.
movie
He
kind of
was
starts
solid.
as a flashback.
him
And
telling the
huge-
story.
Huge flashback, and it is badass, dude. This is where you meet Thranduil. I don't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce
I don't know how to
his
pronounce
I
name.
think
half
it's
of it.
Thandriel.
It's
isn't it?
Thranduil or something. It's
I thought it was Thandriel.
but anyway,
Sounds
the
good.
Elvish King.
Yeah, this is
like,
gonna
he-
be bad as far as names go.
Dude,
I'm
yeah.
gonna blow this.
Yeah, dude, they're crazy names.
I thought about like sounding it out like Lord
Phonetically
of the Rings.
spelling them.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings fans were like, good God, will these guys stop?
But yeah,
What did he just call Gandalf? What did he just say?
Gandalf.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it was really the beginning alone of it. Just it for me, it sells me. You got all this big ass story within the first like 20 minutes of it. And I know, as we talked earlier, I'm pretty sure all of us or you all were like, yeah, the first like hour and a half is like really slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where
Yeah.
all the story building is taking place. It's
literally,
beautiful.
literally the first 40 minutes of the movie, because I paused it, is where the dwarves are just coming knocking on his door, and it's super slow.
Oh
You're just
my
being
God.
introduced one at a time. I was like, how long are they going to
See,
do?
and this is where
they
I would
drug
argue
that out.
that-
And what I was thinking though is, being my first time watching it, I didn't know any of these characters. It's first time. If I went back and rewatched it, I bet that 40 minutes would be different,
yeah.
because I bonded with these characters over the next 10 hours
Yeah.
of the movie. So I think I would appreciate it more. But for a first time watch,
That makes sense.
that first 40 minutes was kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie.
I knew some of these characters, and that it was hard for me too. I mean, but then again, I wasn't like the way you and Tyler were talking was like, I just want to bail. I was like, all right, let's get there, but I'm okay enough on this journey. It was just average to me. I get the whole build it up, but at the same time, normally like a long build up, it's like, dude, it took like 45 minutes to get to the action. This took like an hour and a half to get like the train rolling. So it was a bit rough, but then again, you could argue it's a 3-hour movie in the extended cut, so that is like 45 minutes in another movie. So just depends on the viewer, it really. But for me, it did wear on me a little bit. But you know, once the train started rolling, it really did, and that's all it consisted of. The first fucking hour and a half was like all flashbacks and dinner scenes. And let me tell you, dude. I mean, Bilbo, dude, he looked confused as fuck when Gandalf and them boys just
Yes.
came up in his crib like that. And I know that's probably about where Tyler fell asleep for the fourth time.
Dude, it
You
took
know,
me.
if we would talk about that.
Yeah, it took me like 4 times to get through the first hour and a half. And then I was like, dude, there's no way I can do this. The whole
There's
Hobbit,
no
I was like,
way I can do this. Like it was torture.
yeah, but
I don't
made it
know,
through.
guys. I might have to miss this week.
I was thinking about it. No, I made it through.
That's Peter Jackson's like sweet spot is he'll sit there and he'll lead you on like a real slow pace, and then by the time it's all over, that you're watching like 2.5, 3 hours of nothing but battle sequences, and
I could
just
tell.
dude, it's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But the introduction to Gandalf, like you were talking about, that was pretty cool, especially with us seeing Lord of the Rings first. You know what a surprise that is that Gandalf is here, but it also gives you a look into like, if you love Lord of the Rings, you're like, okay, so Gandalf's past is actually pretty dope. Like he actually has reason to be as badass as he is in Lord of the Rings. So he's got a huge history behind him. We get to see a lot of his history. Bilbo starting off as like a kind of concealed doesn't. He's a hobbit,
Sheltered.
So, which by the way, Hobbiton is one of the most beautiful places to ever see on a screen, and it's still there today. Like they made it in New Zealand for the movies, and I think that's incredible. Like you can visit Hobbiton today, and it's just like
That's dope.
small, like little, houses or whatever in the ground. But
That's awesome.
yeah, Hobbiton's beautiful, and then that scene with the dwarves coming in. You get to meet each individual dwarf because you're about to go on a journey, 3-movie journey with these dwarves. You need to know who they are and what you're dealing with for the rest of this, trilogy.
Yeah, they really do come like one by one.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the hell?
Except for Feely and Killy,
Yeah,
the
of
brothers.
course, they have to
they
come
show
together.
up together.
Yeah.
Did y'all have a favorite dwarf?
That's a tough one.
I can't remember
I
his
like the old one.
Ball. I can't remember his name. I know I have.
I think it's
it down somewhere
Ballin.
in
He's
here.
Ballin.
Who was in the?
There's Dwalin and Ballin. Or I'm always like, is it Dwalin
so
and
many.
Balin? Yeah, the older one. He's cool. I mean, yeah.
Big fat one.
He was. Yeah.
I liked his.
He had
Oh,
some good scenes.
I mean,
The-
Thorin's dope.
The
obviously.
introduction to Thorin was
dude, I went
brooding.
up and down with him. Like I liked
Yeah.
him,
Really?
and then I hated him, and then I liked
Well,
him, and I'm talking over the
yeah.
3 movies. Like
Yeah.
it was
And
back and forth and back and
didn't-
forth.
That didn't really happen to me until, it was, of course, a select moment.
And I know, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
and
I know what you're talking
we'll wait till we get to that. Where I was
Ba-
like,
it's
come
Ballin.
on.
Ballin is the
Yeah, I
old
thought
OG.
so.
He was my favorite.
But when you say
dwarf.
ballin', like
Yeah, I
you picture
know.
somebody crossing somebody over, I'm like, that can't be. It's got to be Balin, right?
You
But then
got
I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's
Feely.
Dwalin.
Ori, Glowin, Bofer, Killy, Ballin, Thorin, Bomber.
Is Killy the one that fell in love with the dwarf
Yes,
or the
Yeah.
the elf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keely was dope. I did
I
like
liked
Keely.
him. I
I
liked
did
the
too.
brothers.
He was cool.
Yeah, Keely and Feely both were awesome. They did really good with them. And then you get introduced to Smaug's name, Smaug the
Smaug.
Terrible,
Mm.
which I think is an amazing name for a dragon. Like every bit of that
Oh,
name
yeah.
is terrifying. Like I wouldn't go anywhere near that cave or
Smaug.
anything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
dude. And like his voice too. Like having Benedict Cumberbatch do that voice was
Yeah.
awesome, dude.
Hell yeah.
And if y'all can watch his like behind the scenes where he has like all the CGI like
the
those tennis
dots.
balls on him and like he's doing all the crawling for Smaug and everything.
Yeah, it's
You ought to
legit.
watch it
I need to
sometime.
watch
It's pretty crazy. On the Voodoo that has all the behind the scenes y'all can
They
check
use
out.
Voodoo
Get on
for
there.
that.
Yeah, they had Voodoo back then too.
Fuck yeah. On some real levels, though, I kept thinking, like, how unfair is this to, like, Bilbo, dude? They're just fucking, like, just going up in this dude's crib. And now they didn't necessarily force him, but they were just egging him on, like, come on, man, we need a burglar. Like, come on, just do it. Let's do it. And then you're just like, why? You might have the wrong house. He's, like, saying shit like that. Like, just imagine if somebody came to your
Took
crib
all
like
your
that.
food.
Dude.
Yeah, start eating your food, fucking telling like we need you for this journey, you might not come back. All like I'd be like, for y'all to even come up in here, man, like fuck this. Like the whole time for Bilbo, I was like, dude, this is kind of fucked up.
Oh yeah, the poor guy. He just wanted to chill and eat. What was it? A big slab of fish and
Yeah, he had
whatever.
just cooked his dinner when the first
Yeah.
dude knocked.
And he come and ate it and smacked the bread up and then dude made a gourmet meal for everybody. But then they do dishes. The way they do dishes,
Throwing
By
them around.
the dwarves' teamwork period throughout this trilogy is
Legit.
incredible. I love the teamwork between
Yeah.
all of them.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, it is wild.
I had an issue with the rain in the
rain?
woods
With the rain.
when Bilbo
I
came
gotta
running
hear
at him.
this.
Okay, so
Where, hang on, set the scene. Where,
all right, so they wanted Bilbo to sign the contract.
Is this
saying-
after they left the house?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna talk. Now this is probably gonna go on deaf ears here because I don't think anybody else would do this. Think about this, but for some reason, the song they sing before they leave Bilbo's reminds me of Bad Company. The song, but the Five Finger Death Punch version. I'm trying to think of like how it sounds, dude, because I can't remember.
Now
but
I want to hear what it is.
Yeah, I know. Like it's gonna. Maybe you can edit it into the video for 2 seconds.
yeah.
But it's legit. It's like I can't fucking do it. But you know that Bad Company. Always on the run. It has like the same like same like
same melody.
Yeah, there you
Right.
go. Yeah, like the whole time I'm like, I feel like Five Finger Death Punch should come on right here. The
Bust
dwarf
out
should
of
just
the
rock
bust
out.
out of the closet.
Yeah, okay, continue. I had to leave that there because I just on the off chance that somebody was like, that He gets it.
It might be.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it or hear that for sure.
Yeah, because that plays on the 4K menu, which I don't know if you have that.
We don't have
yeah,
it,
so like the whole time it would play and play and play. I'm like, I just heard Bad Company. Like I'm like, fuck, dude, this is throwing me off right now.
So yeah, what were you talking about? I'm trying to picture.
Yeah, all right, so
for sure.
You said
they wanted him to sign that contract, right?
Yeah.
Saying that there's a chance you're going to die. Gandalf was real with him. And then they left, and Bilbo met up with them in the woods. And he's like, I signed the contract, and they were like, okay, yada, yada. You know what scene I'm talking about where they're riding horses through the woods and it's raining.
Yeah.
The rain
Which
looked
one?
awful in this.
See, I don't remember
I didn't
the
know.
rain.
I think it's the 4K, too, that does it, because I don't remember it looking that bad before. But now...
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
I guess a con to it. Looked.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
either.
4K can help a movie, but also can highlight some flaws.
It can.
Especially you watch some old movies like not that long ago.
Star Wars.
Even like in Blu-ray sometimes. Like I watched Superman 2 or some shit. You could just see the string like clear as day. And I'm like, I don't remember that. I'm like, clearly Christopher Reeves is on a string right now. I mean, we knew he was, but now I can see it in the movie. But little things like that I can laugh off. I actually like flaws like that because it just makes it more like, oh man, like you can just laugh at it type of deal. I'll tell you this, dude. Thorin had some serious balls for squaring up with Azog, or however you say his fucking name.
Yeah, Azog the Defiler.
Yeah.
was dope.
I would want
Yes.
no
I
parts
fucking
of
love
that.
it.
Yeah.
Azog is a badass, and I love it. Between Azog and what is it, Borg? I think it's his homie's name.
I'll forget his name.
Oh, like his right-hand man?
Yeah, his
Yeah,
right. I'm
he was
pretty
cool
sure it's
too.
Borg. I think he was worse than Azog, honestly, because
Azog with the fucking sword as his hand or whatever, dude.
Yeah, we don't get there until like the later
Yeah,
movies,
later,
but
but
yeah,
yeah,
it's
legit.
it's a good ass weapon to have for real.
And I knew that from like the jump, dude. Like when I wrote that down, I was like, I could see this guy being like a great villain. Like, let's keep this shit rolling, dude. And dude, actually, my next note, something we kind of touched on, but this is, I guess, is where I kind of felt it. I said some grand storytelling along the way to this point, for sure, but also a bit of a drag. I even had to write that in my notes.
Yeah.
So,
What was
you
the
weren't
drag
wrong.
about it though?
Well, that's what I'm
That it was
talking
slow.
about. Like, there isn't a specific point where I'm like, wow, dude, total drag right here. It was just like, it's like that what the
Culmination of everything.
fuck? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I'm saying, do
but
you
it's-
think they were like repeating it, like kind of extending more than they needed to on the scene?
I guess
or?
it was that. It's like everything worked, but it was like barely getting me by. I was waiting to get it the train rolling, and then after a while, it was like, okay, I'm tired of just like barely scraping by here. Like, when are we gonna jump into something? I'm tired. Like, even though those flashbacks were cool, we haven't had anything. There's something about set in motion now, like the actual story we're getting to. I was just ready for it to be set in motion already. But like I said, I do understand there's something to that because you're talking about a 3-hour movie here. You still got a whole fucking regular movie, hour and 30 minutes of the new story. You know what I mean when you think about it. So I mean, again, that's depends on the person there.
Well, the trolls.
I
to get to
love
the
them, dude. They were
trolls.
Yeah,
so
that was
cool.
cool.
The my favorite was the one with the scrappy voice that was just
Yeah.
ready to eat like whatever. But this is kind of where like you get to see Bilbo's worth a little bit. Like you get
Yeah.
to see he's got that mouthpiece on him. That's
He's not
what
the fighter.
Yeah,
But
he's
he can talk his
yes, out of almost anything. And by the way, yeah, Thorin still doesn't trust him as far as he can throw him, which
No.
is pretty
No.
well. He can throw
He
him pretty
probably-
far,
pretty far, probably.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Thorin don't trust him. So then that shit happens with the trolls, which was absolutely hilarious to
Yeah,
me.
dude,
That whole
they
scene.
were how dumb were those?
Yeah, they
motherfuckers,
dude dumb as
dude?
shit. And then the one played it off like as a first time watch. It's like, oh, so this guy caught on to him, but then he didn't like at all. Like he calls him out on thinking that he's stupid, but then he says one more thing. He's like, oh well, go on, talk. You know,
Yeah, he's
whatever.
over-
He's still stupid as shit.
Yeah, I like how he was telling them like, you can't cook these yet, and he was like basically talking about how the other ones are taking it.
The
Like, I'm not
worms.
infected.
Yeah,
Like,
they
man,
had
shut
worms.
up. Yeah, like all that good shit. Like that was good.
genius.
And they
That's-
were dumb in that moment. They were just as dumb as the trolls. Like most of it's like, do you not realize what he's doing? This is
Well, yeah.
helping us. They're all infected.
I think Rodney brought up a good point about that. Is all the dwarves just want to fight. Like they're ready to fight. They're not thinking. And Bilbo was the one to use the words and talk his way out of it. And it took the dwarves a minute to realize, okay, this isn't a time to fight. Like we got to outsmart them at this point.
Which almost waited too late to even do that. And then they played it off terribly, but we'll let that slide.
And that's another thing about these movies, dude. I love how everything is like bigger than life.
Yeah.
It just like it's like everything always. It don't matter what it is. They're like, let's make it 50 feet tall.
Well, see,
it'd be better.
That's one of the things that I noticed about these three movies, as opposed to Lord of the Rings. With these three, since it dealt with dwarves and a Hobbit, every time I saw them on screen, whether it was just a camera of like on them only, I saw a dwarf. Like I saw a miniature. Like I didn't see like a regular size room or a regular size person. I saw like a dwarf. Like it was like embedded in my head every time I see them on camera. It was
opposite for me. Like I'd forget they were dwarfs.
Oh no.
I'd legitimately be like I know they're dwarfs, obviously, but like when I'd see them come up next to another person, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, they are small as shit, aren't they?
Yeah, and then Bilbo's even smaller than them.
Yeah, it kind of had that effect.
His giant ass feet,
dude. Yeah, his feet. When he would stand next to Thranduil and that moose, which by the way,
the caribou
was cool as shit.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
dude, that thing was badass.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but
this shit. It definitely recaptures like that beautiful world building that made Lord of the Rings so great to a T. And like, I mean, which also comes with it, like how beautifully shot it is. Like everything is done so masterfully well. And like you were saying, that 4K only accented it more. Other than that rain scene, damn it, that really just
that ruined the whole movie.
I was so upset. Started singing nursery rhymes and shit. Rain, rain, go away. It put me in a bad spot.
Never
honestly.
come again.
It kind of ruined my night. Just go on a big tangent with that for a long time, dude. I was happy to see Azog was still alive. Seemed like a potentially cool villain. Like I was worried. Like I'm like, okay, he might get fucking offed here, dude. I would have been so mad if he would have got fucking killed, dude.
Yeah, he was dope.
I was wanting to see him go on and on and on and on. We needed some good action from him going forward, for sure.
The first time Thorne was asked about him, the way he said, like, I killed him or whatever, like, you could tell, okay, he's not dead. Like, he's coming back at some point. And then when they show him and he's got that sword in his arm.
Oh, dude, it's so brutal. That what's it called? I have it written down because I can't. Dol Guldur. Dol Guldur, or whatever, however you say it. Dol Guldur. Where Sauron is and where Azog chills. Dude, that place is scary as shit.
Yeah, dude.
That place scares
the necromancer and shit. That motherfucker's. That's
dude, it's shit. So scary. Like, I would not walk in there. It doesn't even matter. But Radagast, the Brown, we get to meet him too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what'd you all think about?
I love Radagast the Brown, dude. I love him.
Ryan Gass the Brown. It's like shout out to Ryan Gass.
What up? No, because he had that quote, that scene where he said, it was so dope. Gandalf was like, "These wolves will outrun you," and he's like, he said, "These are Rosgabel rabbits. I'd like to see them try." And you're just like, okay, just take me to that scene right now, dude. And they give them a run for their money, literally. Like they're out there running around, barely able to keep up with the rabbits. I thought that was awesome.
And I like Gandalf always staying like 2 steps ahead, dude. Having the dwarfs go on without him when he had his meeting with the White Council.
Yes,
that's just like classic, man. He's always just
classic
like ready.
Gandalf.
Yeah, he does. He does it all the time.
Like you don't even know like when he's about to do some G shit. And he's just like,
I'm gonna invite you on an adventure, but I'm gonna leave you 4 or 5 times during this adventure.
Yeah, and it's like, where's Gandalf?
You'll know what to do.
Disappear for a while.
he'd just be. You wouldn't even like. I'd literally sometimes be like, when did he leave? I don't even know what happened. Like he was just always like, he knew exactly what he was doing every step of the way, and he knew every fucking like position to put all of them in every step of the way, dude. So he's a true wizard for sure, dude.
So what about the stone giant fight?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That was my next note.
Yeah, that was mine. That was fucking dope.
Dude, I wrote so many notes for these. There's so much to write down.
It was pretty fucking cool. It reminded me of Dude, the Rock'em Sock'em robots, dude. I swear to
I can
God,
see it,
that's
yeah.
what my brain went to. They look like Rock'em Sock'em stone robots, man.
Yeah, that mountain fight scene is amazing. Like, especially the start of it too. Is like they think it's an earthquake,
And shit's just
then
falling.
dude's just like, no, that's the mountain.
The stone giants.
And like throwing hands too, like beating each other up like tough too. And it's like
They were over there like uppercutting,
Yeah,
imagine-
stone flying.
Imagine being on like hiking.
I'm already
And it
not
fucking
liking
just comes
yeah.
alive.
yeah, that's awful. Thinking about it just gives me.
I just went
anxiety.
hiking last
Yeah, like
weekend too.
that's terrifying. Just being on that mountain.
Yeah, I actually
The
have that
mountain
written down.
starts
What a shitty situation to be involved in.
fighting. 100%, dude.
And then who asked earlier the Goblin? That's this movie because I
yeah.
have on here the Goblin Lair.
Dude, I love
Yeah.
the goblin.
The king
Yeah.
is
It was-
so ugly, dude.
Dude, I
but
said that. I
but
swear
good
to
looking at the same. Like it looked.
Oh no, yeah,
Fantastic.
he looked
Yeah.
great CG wise, but Jesus, he's hard to
Yeah.
look
He
at.
fucking.
I literally
Gullet.
wrote that the Great Goblin was a nasty looking bastard. He's got like a ball sack hanging from his chin, dude. I was like,
It looked like he was
bubbles and
pregnant.
shit.
I have to say, out of that whole Goblin scene, my favorite part was the little messenger, though. The little
Really?
messenger Goblin,
Mhm.
where he says, "Go tell the." He sent him to do something or whatever. And he's in that little cart that they
Yes.
send
Sit
shooting
down,
on. He's just a
yeah.
little goblin with like little tiny legs or
Yes.
whatever, laughing on the way.
He was
Oh,
going
yeah.
to tell Azog that
Yeah,
that
that's
they
what it
had
was,
for
yeah.
him
Mhm.
because he would pay a pretty
penny,
pretty
yeah.
penny for his head.
I'll say this, dude. I wish my fucking sword glowed blue when
goblins?
goblins and orcs were around, dude. Can never
Well,
be too
how
careful.
sexual are you being with that?
I don't know.
Oh.
You know, just however sexual you want to make it. I know Tyler would probably wait from under me. I got you, dog. But yeah, I don't know. I thought because like when I first saw that, I was like, "What's fucking swords?" But I was like, "Oh, okay, makes sense. It's kind of cool. I can dig that." I know that's your favorite color. We just talked
Blue,
about that.
yep.
We'll reveal why that came up. That's also my favorite color as well. What
It
the
is not my
fuck
favorite
is going
color.
on? Damn it, Ryan. That's why we just blew everything, dude. My notebook's blue. Holy shit. Yeah, dude. You want to talk about Gollum?
No.
No?
Okay,
Why
see you
not?
later.
So Gollum shows up, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, great as always.
Favorite scene in the whole entire movie
Is this
is the
scene-
riddle game between Gollum and
Yeah.
Bilbo.
Riddle battle.
That right there showed
dope.
so, dude. There was so much intelligence in that, but like at the same time, yet again, showing Bilbo's worth, like who he is, like he's a
Talking
little
his way out of
genius,
it,
yeah. And he killed it. You know, of course. Oh, by the way, Bilbo has the ring.
Yep,
At
he
this
found the
point,
ring.
He
Yeah,
found
I was
the
gonna
ring.
say it was cool just visualizing
ring
it,
again.
seeing him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, like I forgot. I was like watching
Well-
the Lord of the Rings movie for a second. I was like, oh yeah, he does have to get the ring.
Have you
doesn't he
seen him
not?
before? Lord of the Rings.
Me?
I'll
No.
hear me.
Okay,
I have
so
not.
I know you haven't, so you haven't either.
No.
So for
Well,
you
this is
and
what's
me-
terrifying is like some of like the notes coming up.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
kind of hard to
we've had
not
to skip
spoil
some.
certain shit because like I'm over here like saying certain things that tie into that, and it's like, well, fuck, maybe we should.
Well, that's why there's a couple people I haven't brought up because of that. So
Yeah,
but
I've skimmed over a couple things, but some things I'm like, I feel like it's necessary and it's not
Well,
too.
for someone
much,
like you and
yeah.
me, seeing Bilbo with the ring
Yeah.
is a big deal.
Yeah,
Because
big
the
time.
way he. So it's a big deal for
Mm-hmm.
people who've seen Lord of the Rings. So seeing him with the ring and then the riddle game and then him putting it on, to get away from Gollum, and you see that sad face that Gollum makes, and you almost
Mm-hmm. Feel bad for
close
him?
feel bad for him. I don't know. How do you two feel about that?
Yeah,
When you saw Gollum kind of have that sad face right before Bilbo
Yeah.
jumped over him?
Yeah, I
from
didn't
like
care.
a
You
less
didn't?
No.
experience.
I didn't feel bad
Yeah.
for Gollum at
I
all.
didn't feel bad for him.
I felt for him.
Yeah,
a
I
little
kinda
bit.
did,
I was
yeah.
like, damn it, why has he
Yeah.
got me right?
I know it did. Like, yeah.
Sorry about that, Gollum. He's actually chilling right there. Yeah, dude. That was some crazy shit, dude. That whole scene, though, it was fucking amazing. And of course, dude, Bilbo, turning invisible. And all that
Yes.
shit. That was pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
I
And
dug
then
it.
I think Gandalf knew. It's never. I don't think it might have been said in the third one at the
He
very
does say
end.
that.
He
He
does
said,
say
I
it,
knew
too.
you had it the whole
Okay,
time.
so
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's.
He said, I've been keeping an eye on you.
Now,
Yeah.
see, I wrote that in my notes, and it may not make sense because I think I write that at the end now. There's really no point in saying it, but like I was like, bruh, like I feel like he acknowledged that
Yeah.
he saw.
He,
We'll get
I
to
even
that.
wrote
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah, I think because the way he looked at him when he said that,
and I'll talk about it a little more in the second one because there was a part that kind of confused me. I was like, "Hang on, dude, did not?" Yeah, one of those things. Speaking of Gandalf, dude, he made quick work of the Great Goblin.
Yeah,
I mean that was just like, bro, it's over.
he's a
and the
beast
Great
with it,
Goblin
dude.
was so confident for a second, and then out of nowhere he's just like, "That'll do it," and just goes down. It's like, okay. I didn't see that coming. I thought maybe they'd have like a little battle or something.
Yeah, the whole fight scene in that Goblin Cave, like when they were running from him and stuff, I thought that was dope.
I love the bridges.
Yeah, it
falling.
looked beautiful.
It was dope.
The whole setup of it.
We forgot a certain point, how they got the map, and they went to Rivendell to find out what's on the map that they couldn't see. So they had to use a certain moonlight to see. What was it?
They said the last light of day.
That day, yeah, which they thought was the sun.
But it turns out it was the moonlight.
It's the moon,
We'll
yeah.
get to that.
So, the map at Rivendell though had something else though. Remember, they went to Rivendell in this one, and then the moonlight under the waterfall shined something on the map to where it led them another clue. Y'all not?
The elf read.
Yeah, the elf had to read it. That's the only way they could find out is going there. That's why the dwarves were upset about it. Going to see the elves.
I know what you're talking about now.
And then this is where you see
Saruman. A couple
Saruman.
things this first time run through, really.
Saruman the White from Lord of the Rings. You see him in this. You're introduced to him, which is awesome. You get to see people who've seen Lord of the Rings.
That's why I brought up when he had his meeting at the I almost said White Castle.
White Castle.
At the White Castle.
meeting.
Just picture Gandalf with that's
Harold
Peter
Kumar.
King. Yeah, but I said he had the meeting at the White Council, and I kind of expected somebody to jump into it. Nobody did.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
You said something about stone giants, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the stone giants," and then I forgot about it too. But yeah, they had that whole situation because they were. Because what was it? They were trying to do something.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
But no, that's what it was. That's what I was meant by him staying 2 steps ahead because they were trying to stop the dwarf's journey at first. And then Gandalf had already sent him off because he had already anticipated that they were going to do that.
Right.
Because they didn't think it was pressing or something.
And him
shit
and the
like
Elf
that.
Queen had that little telepathy meeting.
Yeah, and I was going to go deeper into that, but like I said, he said stone giants, and I forgot.
That's okay, though. That's such a dope scene.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're at the mountain top, basically, where Azog catches up to them with the warhounds, and all the dwarves are in trees. They decide to climb the trees and everything, which is smart. It was smart, but, Azog always has a way.
Yeah.
So, but Gandalf starts making pine cones catch fire because Gandalf's OP and he's a wizard and does whatever he wants. So, which lit it up. And then that whole little... It wasn't that big of a battle sequence, but it was big enough to where you're like, okay, yeah, this is incredible.
Just building.
Yeah.
Slowly building.
And then the giant eagles come.
Always coming to save the day, the eagles.
Beautiful.
I was going to say, Thorin, dude, doubted Bilbo to the
Big
very
time.
fucking end, dude.
Yeah.
Until, of course...
He saved him.
Yeah, he saved him. But
Yeah.
I also was going to say, I liked the little stare-off that Thorin and Azog had, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, before they went down, I felt hyped in that moment. I was like, here we go. And, of course, we didn't get a big thing, but we did get something quick that was kind of cool. And then we had the moment, of course, where Bilbo saved him, and that kind of tied a nice knot on the where Thorin was doubting him the whole way moment. So you did get that reward at least. And it was kind of cool seeing Thorin inside of whatever that fucking thing was, mouth. I can't remember that, where it kind of like spun him around and threw him.
But
Azog.
what did you...
Azog.
Yeah,
Where
I
he had
completely tuned you out for a second. I don't know why.
I forgot where we were.
I don't know what just happened. Go on.
You always zoned off, dog.
I did, straight up.
No, dude, I was talking about where Thorin had to stare off with Azog, and even though we didn't get like a huge battle, there was a reward, and since saw Thorin didn't trust Bilbo the whole way, there was that reward in Bilbo saving him. So there was at least something there. And then I said it was kind of cool seeing Azog, his little thing he rides on. I can't even
where
he grabbed him and fucking
I
flung
forgot
him
what he
around.
called that thing. That thing was
Yeah,
Oh,
flung him.
I'm
That was
good.
kind of cool. We were kind of in a moment for a second there. I was like, "Does he die right here? Like, what's about to go down?"
No, he can't. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But I'm like, again, this is basically I've seen it before, but I don't remember shit about it. So I'm like, I don't remember. Does he? But yeah, dude.
Well,
And
yeah,
like you were saying,
Then
Eagles.
the giant eagles come.
Yeah, they really saved the day.
Save the day.
and then you get an intro to
Yeah.
Smaug. You
And
get to see
Bilbo
him.
was riding that eagle like Falcor, dude, for sure.
Never-ending story.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and then Thorin admits that he was wrong about Bilbo
Right.
after that, which
Yeah.
He was like,
I thought was big.
And I thought Thorin was on some bitch shit when he brought him back at first, because he kind of had like a weird
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, he does
and then
make you
out of
think that.
nowhere, and then he's like,
It's like this
Yeah.
guy just don't give up, does he? It's
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Now he's cool.
And then Rodney was talking about you see Smaug and his eye open.
no.
And that's straight. I know I'm backwards on this, but that reminded me of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, dude.
And I know a lot of people watching Game of Thrones were probably like, that reminds me of
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
Can't
But
help but
Oh, yeah.
think, right?
But yeah, the Smaug you get introduced to, and then it cuts to black.
dude, I was so pumped for the second movie
Oh,
after
yes.
the first one. It took me a while to get into that unexpected journey, but once it was over, because I love dragons.
And we saved.
I was like,
dude.
let's go.
When they
we
do them
saved
right,
scores
they're
for
great.
later, right?
And they do
Yeah,
it
the
right
very end.
in this movie.
Good deal.
The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smog.
Smog.
I was so ready to get some dragon action when this started, dude.
Oh yeah, you gotta wait for that.
Yeah.
Always ready for that, dog. But yeah, the second one. Yeah, as Tyler said, The Desolation of Smog. Would it improve? Would this one be great from the jump? Well, I guess Rodney thinks the first one was just amazing the whole way through, probably. But,
don't like any of these
I mean,
movies.
for us three, did it kind of pick up? I mean,
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
started
did.
off
It
definitely a
did
lot
pick up.
better
Okay, I like
than the
to
first
hear
one.
that. Yeah. What's weird, the flashback thing. I actually like how they started with the flashback here between Gandalf and Thorin, dude, how they met. I thought that was cool. But this wasn't like a flashback, and then we kind of get like, when's this going to start flashback? When's this going to start flashback? This is like one quick flashback, and then it really connects the first one well after the flashback scene. Almost like you could watch one long supercut of these films seamlessly. I thought that was kind of cool. I like movies that just kind of jump right back into where you were. You don't need to have that build up twice, 2 times in a row. And I'm glad Azog got brought back, of course. I mean, why wouldn't he? But you never fucking know. Really saw great potential that didn't get tapped into enough in the previous movie in terms of villainage.
Oh yeah, you get a lot more Azog in this one.
I like when they go to the skin changer's house.
Dude, Bjorn.
Yeah, he's
Bjorn is a
badass.
badass.
Dude, it's so dope.
Yes, dude, and he's even, dude, he towers Gandalf. And
Yeah.
so that means when Bilbo's standing next to Bjorn, it's like an ant. Because this dude is huge, and that chopping that wood up like that, it's just like, dude, this
Yeah, then they
this
all
man is
come
a
out when
monster.
they're not supposed
Yeah,
to.
Yeah,
that
that
was
threw
kinda
me
funny.
off.
Dude,
at
yeah,
first.
that's
I
a
was
signal,
like,
that's a
yeah,
signal.
and Gandalf was like afraid of him. Kinda.
Yeah,
was?
dude, I have that in my notes. And actually, I didn't like that. I didn't
Really?
like how Gandalf. Yeah, like Gandalf shows fear and shocked. Like when he's shocked and fear and then anger and all that shit, he shows all that. But like with Bjorn, it was different. It was like he was legitimately scared, but it's just a skin changer. The other shit, like the shit that he goes up against in this movie, and then
You're saying
he's
it
that
doesn't
scared
match.
of. Yeah,
Doesn't
it doesn't
make
make sense to me. So I feel like they.
I don't know if he was scared of them or he was scared of what he would do to the dwarves.
I thought you were going
And
to
he
say.
was scared of that.
No, because the way he was shaking
Yeah.
when he was talking about him, and then the way
Yeah.
he was shaking when he was talking to him.
I thought he was going to say, like, I don't know if he was scared of him or if he was scared of what he was going to do to him. Like, just hyping up Gandalf even more. I was like, all right.
No,
Tyler,
see, I
big
couldn't hype
Gandalf
him.
guy.
So I didn't like how scared he looked of him.
I'll tell you, Necromancer intrigues me more and more. Like, that whole fucking thing with Necromancer, like, that's just,
Dude,
no, it's just dope.
the which is Sauron,
Mm-hmm.
and he is a creepy thing
Yeah,
to look
like
at.
that tickled my fancy in terms of like that horror type vibe. Like it just seemed that whole part of it always seemed real dark to me, and I like that a lot. And I think honestly the characters were just naturally likable in the last one, not really like that fleshed out necessarily. But after like 3 hours coming into this one, they popped a little more for me after spending so much time with them. I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that like it's not that like they weren't like I mean, they weren't like that fleshed out in the first one. I feel like they just
really
kind of, they did, like I said, they just had this natural likability to them, and then the way you grew with them, like by the time you hit this one, it flowed a little bit better for me. Just the whole, even like we were just talking about the start of the movie, every bit of it, dude.
Yeah, the chemistry.
Bilbo almost
Definitely
tells Gandalf he's got the ring.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I was talking about in the first one, dude. Like when he told him he was trying to find a way to tell, like he found the ring, like it threw me off because like I could have swore he saw Bilbo tuck it away, and that was my note. But we kind of revealed like by the third one at this point. But when I was writing this though, I was like, hold the fuck on, bro. Like, did he not? Like, I almost want to put the first one back on. Like, did he not? Because I swear it looked like he was like, when he had the ring, it looked like Gandalf was like, like he did one of those, and I was like, he saw it, did he not?
I see nothing.
And he like changed the subject or something, and I was like, maybe I'm tripping, but yeah. I
Dude, the
swear,
spiders in the woods. Those things looked amazing.
So, Mirkwood Forest, you couldn't pay me to walk in that forest, first of all.
Well, yeah.
And I feel bad for anybody who has arachnophobia to watch these movies.
I do.
Any Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit.
I
Like
have
it's like,
arachnophobia.
dude, the spiders in these movies are always so
Well
Big.
done.
they're menacing.
They're
Like
bigger
it's
than life.
They
they're
just had to stray from the path, dude. What's wrong with that?
Well,
you
yeah.
couldn't help it.
Something else. Gandalf leaves them before they go in
Again,
the forest,
yes.
like we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier. He's like, "Y'all go in there.
I'm out,
I'm
dude."
not."
It's bad enough.
He's like,
Everyone's
"I'll meet you at the
basically
other
tripping
side."
balls too.
Yeah,
dude.
dude, like hard too. Like, and then they all get wrapped up.
Yeah.
And,
they just had to put gigantic spiders in this. Like,
They had
what in the fuck? Yeah, dude. That whole scene, dude, was just, oh my god. Like the whole time I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Honestly, the talking kind of like made it less scary to me, but like it still was like
I like.
creepy looking.
Well, the ring. I like how the ring let him hear what the spiders are saying and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Now they could have made the spiders a little less stupid, I guess. I mean, because
Yeah.
they were pretty dumbass spiders.
Yeah.
Like the way they were talking and then what they were saying was just all nonsense. But
How smart you want spiders to be?
well, they need to be at least a 50 GPA.
yeah.
No, not GPA. 50.
What the fuck are you talking?
What-
How smart are you?
It's the
IQ.
SATs, dumbass.
Well, the spiders are obviously smarter than Rodney.
Maybe.
They would have got his ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
would've
got
killed
everybody, really. Bilbo again,
Except-
just
well, yeah,
saving
Bilbo.
the fucking day. He had to like unravel all of them.
He stabbed a spider while in a web.
Well, and then somebody else helped save the day. Who showed up, Rodney?
Oh yeah,
Never
Legolas.
mind. Yeah.
Legolas and
I just wanted you to say it so I didn't blow it.
I
Like, is it Lego
Legolas.
Legolas?
It's Legolas.
Yeah, but no, when I
So-
saw him, I was like, oh shit, dude. And again, I had no idea. So that was a pleasant surprise. for
So
me.
one shot I liked before the elves got there was that canopy shot where Bilbo climbed to the top of the tree.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful in 4K.
And he got to see the lake.
Yes,
Oh
that
yeah.
was
No, it really
stunning.
seen the top of the trees and everything. It was just,
And then he saw the trees moving, and that was the spiders coming.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That'd been so terrifying.
You see in the tree, you know it's them. You're like, oh god, I do. You might have to stay at the top of the tree.
But yeah, so we get
And I'm afraid
introduced to
of heights.
Legolas,
Ugh.
which is awesome
And he
because
has
I
legs.
love Legolas.
Plot twist.
And Orlando Bloom was made. He was born for this role. Like he
Yeah.
was. Like it's.
Yeah,
Dude, he's
it
done
threw
some-
off the doctor. They were like, he's gonna be he's legless, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
was like, he's legless. What the fuck? My kid's legless. Like, no, in the future, he's born to play the character Legolas. Oh, thank God. I'm
Dude,
gonna get some
he's
money
been
out
in
of it.
such huge franchises. The
Oh, yeah.
Hobbit,
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
And he did that
Yeah.
Kingdom of Heaven movie, that war
Yeah.
movie back in the
Troy?
Christian times. The Troy, yeah. But he was like a dude. I hated him in that movie. He was such a baby back in that.
Hey,
But
came through at the end though.
no, Eric Bana.
Yeah,
was
then
the
they
G-
all
He
the
was,
dwarves
but
get
he-
Put in
captured
jail.
by the elves. Then that one female.
Yeah, what was her
Elf.
name, Rodney?
Yeah,
And it's ever
Toriel. Toriel.
Tario.
Tario?
Tario.
Yeah,
I
she-
loved her.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, it's
She's a
Lost.
badass
yeah, it's
too.
Lost.
Yeah, she
Little
is.
Kate. from
Yeah.
Lost. Yeah.
Lost. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, that's what sucks. Like, so they got saved, but then immediately in prison. Luckily, Bilbo was on his shit. But like, I
the
mean,
thief.
can you imagine? Like, oh, thank God, we're about to die back there. 2 seconds later, like, fuck.
Well, this
And
is where you also get to see where the ring takes over. Like the ring is that powerful, and you start to see where Bilbo's getting kind of addicted to the ring, like doesn't want to part with it at all. Will use it in any situation. Like,
I would too.
That's the problem. Once you put it on, then he can. So, what were you saying?
Yeah.
Isn't this also where you see the love interest between
Tauriel and
one of the brothers? Was it Philly?
It was
Killy.
So
he's in prison.
Yes, because he had
that stone.
Yeah, that's right. It was in it was in the prison.
And he said he made a joke about it or something. Like, if you look at it, you become blind or something. And he was like, if you believe something like that. And then showed her it was just a stone that what his mom gave him. Because he made her a promise that he'd come back home or something.
Yeah.
You
see the love interest starting to build.
Which is crazy because it's elf and dwarves, and elves hate dwarves hate elves.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, pause.
What a life. Yeah.
What was your favorite species? Like Hobbit, elf,
Natasha
dwarves, orcs.
Elf for sure.
Yeah, I was elf. For some reason, I love the elves.
So you'll understand why I love the elves so much by the third movie.
I love the orcs.
I do too. It's hard.
Wasn't
to
a big dwarf fan.
They're all kind of special.
They're so little,
different way.
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that.
Okay, we can continue. Where were we?
But then after they escape the whole, the big barrel scene.
Yeah.
Yep, the orcs attack.
Well, before that, the Thorin and Thranduil back and forth, where he offered him to let them go.
Yeah, because Thorin gets
if he would bring back the jewels, but he said no and started being an asshole.
That was the corruption of the gold. Like, he just wanted, the elf dude just wanted those white stones or whatever, gems that were theirs. But Thorin didn't want to part with just those couple stones. He had the whole fucking cave of gold and everything. And
I don't think he really knew what was in there, though. Because I don't think he was addicted to the gold until...
But the mental, like, just thinking of it.
Sharing.
You can't give away...
Or thinking he's after the Arkenstone himself. That's what, Thranduil wants is the Arkenstone. But they escape the coolest way.
Yeah,
by
Bilbo,
the way.
again, just every step of the way, just saving ass.
And he almost got fucked because the barrels dropped. He's like, how the fuck do I get out of here now? And they're coming down. And he does get out, though.
Oh, my
God. That barrel scene.
Then comes the barrel scene.
That had me,
sick.
like, there was that one specific time. I can't remember exactly what happened. Whatever the fucking red-haired fat one is with the bald spot, where his barrel, like, breaks. Like, he puts something out, and his barrel slowly breaks, and it, like, flips him onto land, and then he, like, busts out all the way. Then he has to, like, jump back in the barrel, and then they're floating back. That whole scene, I was like, that was fucking dope. Like, I was in it to win it on that shit.
Where you really get to see Tauriel, like, show
she was
how badass she is.
And it was sick how they were coming in, dude. Oh my God.
You got that little bit of a Legolas wants to be with her, but she wants to be with Killy. So you got that little triangle.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I thought Killy was like done for a second, but it was cool to see Legolas and Tauriel just like save the day. Like, it was like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm gonna help these motherfuckers out.
But Killy gets that arrow to the leg, which is devastating, and
fucked him up a lot worse.
Yeah, come to find out, it's poison, and but they meet up with Bard, which I think was an awesome character.
Did y'all trust Bard at first?
Yes.
Though?
Yeah.
Immediately. Mm-hmm. Okay, I felt like I was like,
I don't know about this guy.
It's something about Luke Evans himself. Yeah. He's just
trustworthy.
Dude, he played Dracula, and I was like, yeah, you're still killing people, but I trust you. Like, I love Dracula, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah. So they meet up with Bard, and he's not going to help them at first, but then, of course, he decides to and tells them to get in the barrels, and
the fish,
then throws all that fish on them, and it's like, that'd be so awful.
And they almost get busted.
Yeah.
Well, once they get to their their destination, they almost get busted.
What was the dude's name? Alfred.
The worst. Every movie has that one guy, and he's it.
Hated him.
Yes. He was, although he does provide my favorite line out of the whole trilogy. So,
in this movie?
Yeah. Well, no, it's in the third one.
Okay.
We'll
have to bring it up.
Yeah.
I don't bring it up.
I won't.
I want to know if it's the same one I'm thinking of.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, and then you have the dispute between Thorin and Bard about him going to the mountain or not.
Yeah.
And that, like, I immediately was thinking, did Thorin bite off more than he could chew, talking about going to the mountain and bringing back all this gold and all this shit or whatever he was bringing it back for everybody of Lake Town, what's it called, something like that. That was like an immediate moment where I was like, I can already see this is going to go like horribly wrong in some way. I just felt like it was going to come back to haunt even Bilbo because he stood up and like vouched for him. I was like, something's going to go wrong here. And it might not have necessarily been in the way I thought it was going to be, but...
It went pretty fucking south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was even brought up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That didn't turn out too well.
No, just peachy. Then, of course, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we're skimming through this one pretty quick, but they go basically on like the mission or whatever to go see Smaug and all that shit.
Well, what do y'all think of Lake Town?
Okay, just in general, the town. I thought it was a very lakey town.
I thought it was pretty cool. Like the streets were water. Essentially.
Yeah, but it was like half and half.
It was like an island.
Yeah, it was like Waterworld
the second
almost.
level in Tomb Raider 2 when you had to play in Venice. You remember in Venice, you had to steal the boat. Dude, y'all
I haven't played that game in so long. The
Dude,
original Tomb Raiders?
No, Tomb Raider 2 is my jam. That's the best. Anyways, though, but
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me of.
I like the scene where Thorin and Bard were like trying to convince the whole town. Like Bard's like, don't let them go because he's gonna awake the dragon. We're all gonna die. And Thorin's like, let me go. I'll give you gold. You can build your town up or whatever. And just like the back and forth with that and like how easily money can persuade people.
Exactly.
Like they could all die, or you get a bunch of money, and they're like, "Yeah, go get us money." Like
You could rebuild the whole town.
Yeah, like-
no.
And that's a perfect callback to the third movie when we get to it. What you just said is like, because if you're paying attention like you were in the movie, then the callback, you're like, yeah, so what Thorin says, in the third one, it's like at this point of his life, he's still worried about riches and money and, being king and having that crown and that throne. That's it. It's all that's on his mind. So like the character development of Thorin is incredible, as of right now. So,
and it sucked. Killy couldn't go on, to the mountain with them, but
yeah, he had to stay back and get healed. They were looking for that plant to save him, and then this is where we get ninja orcs out of nowhere.
climbing on the roofs,
on the roofs, being super quiet, like nobody knowing they're there, and then out of just nowhere, like boom, an orc attack, which is awful. But yeah, you kind of get to see Bard, use his skills, which is pretty cool.
Definitely,
it's like an amateur Legolas kind of.
Yeah,
but pretty dope.
He's all right. You talk about Gandalf.
Yeah.
Entering the ruins of Golgador.
Yes.
Even though he knew it was a trap. He was just like, fuck it, I'm on some gangster shit. But then again, even though that was some G shit, I started to worry about his life a little bit when he got in there. I was like, oh, hold on, this might be going south. And who would have thought that imminent danger was Thrawn at first?
Yep, Thorne's dead.
Mm-hmm. I did not.
And he was like psycho, crazy, lost his mind, dude.
He seemed
I love the tattoos on his forehead, though. His tattoos were awesome. But yeah, that right there, though, Gandalf versus Sauron, dude. That scene where he throws up his staff for that light barrier, and then Sauron is like trying everything to get into it, dude. It's so epic. It's just like it's so beautifully done. Like I'm in awe every time I watch it. That scene, I love it.
Oh yeah, big time. Everything that went down in there with Gandalf was legit as shit. Then of course we catch back up with Bilbo and the company. Getting
when they're trying to open the door
to that mountain. Yeah, dude. And I like that Bilbo was the person that figured out what was wrong.
He solved the riddle,
yeah,
essentially, like he was doing with the Gollum, which I solved it before. I don't know if you all were like, it's the moonlight.
Yeah,
but I was before.
Coming back to that first one too. We're talking about some moonlight there. Yeah, and only to almost fuck it up by kicking the key off the cliff. I was like, oh.
And then Thorin saves it. And that's when like Thorin becomes like, okay, so Bilbo's like really with us, like 100%. That's when Thorin like decides that Bilbo's like a part of their like group for sure.
Which
he
again,
starts to trust him.
He saved the day, not
Yes.
by fighting, but by using his mind.
Yeah.
That's a recurring theme that you get.
Seems like it happens
forever,
every
yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
Like,
it
Bilbo
really
was gonna get this.
it does seem like that.
how valuable he is to the team. Like he's extremely valuable.
Then we get Legolas versus Bolg in the lake town.
Oh yeah,
The
that was dope.
Azog's right hand man.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
That was an amazing fight scene.
Yeah, that was cool shit.
It's
I did
good to
like
see
that.
Legolas bleed too.
Oh, yeah, I love seeing him bleed.
Well,
All the blood, bring it.
it's you don't get to see that really in other things, so it's like seeing it here is like, oh, okay.
We know
that's,
what other things mean.
yeah. So
That's like other thing that can only be
we're
one
adults
other
here.
thing.
We're all adults.
And then of course Bilbo going in, and honestly, the visual just with him like sliding down the gold and fucking Smog like not trying to wake him up and
Yeah.
all that, I thought it was great, dude. And of course, it's how we've arrived. We kind of tie into how the movie ended, basically seeing Smog over there with his gold.
Mm-hmm.
And now, boom, this is like what we were waiting for right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and when Bilbo first enters, like he doesn't know where the dragon is.
No.
So he's walking around, he sees it kind of move. He's like, "Oh shit, there it is!" And they do like a pan away, and you see how big the dragon is.
Yeah.
You see his
Massive.
tail way over there, and you're like, "Holy!"
I thought it was another
shit.
dragon.
Yeah.
I was like,
this
there was
thing
two?
is massive.
Yeah.
That's when Bilbo's talking to him. He's like, "I'm just came here to see how, if all the stories are true, how mighty and
Yeah, dude,
you
the
talking
are."
whole
his way out of it.
conversation.
And dude, and then Smaug like gets up and like shows off to him, and you're just
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh my god, dude!" Like so full of himself, but at the same time, like, okay, you have a reason to be.
And I had like a love-hate relationship. Maybe that just goes back to like my horror roots. But when I think about like big monsters and shit like that, like the spiders talking, I know like The Ring helps like accent that, but like the spiders talking and Smog talking, I think it even grew on me even more. But in the moment, I was kind of just like, man, I almost would be like better if they were just quiet villains. But that also kind of does make them like unique.
So yeah, I loved Smog.
Yeah,
Talking.
Smog
I could have done
talking.
without the spiders.
Yeah, but Smog, it grew on me.
Yeah. And I liked when Bilbo put the ring on.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon, he could still smell him, and then he ends up saying something about like he can feel the gold ring, because dragons are attracted to that gold, and the dragon even says something about it being far more precious.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
he said it in that accent or whatever, that tone.
There's really nowhere to run for him, even with the ring on.
Yeah. Because
But-
you could see the gold move if
Yeah.
he was to run. So you're
But then you get to see like Smaug is like playing with his food in a sense. Like he's giving Bilbo every chance to like talk as much as he wants to, but like every 5 minutes I feel like, oh, he's about to
Yeah,
about
he
to
could have
eat
killed him
dude.
instantly.
Yeah, any time at
Over
any
and
point.
over again, dude.
And then Smog knew the whole story. Like he knew the dwarves send him in there to steal the. Like he knew. Like he laid the whole story out to Bilbo, and Bilbo was like, "What the fuck? How the fuck does he know this?"
It's probably that bird, that crow, that keeps going up there with the acorn and keeps knocking on it. And I think that's like some kind of Morse code or something. Maybe for like Smaug. I don't know. It's like, because like, why would they do that if it had no meaning? Because they did it more than once with the bird tapping on the mountain, hearing the clicking all the way to Smaug. So that could have been how.
And some we didn't touch on. They mentioned earlier that the first time Smog attacked that village, he was hit with one arrow.
Yes.
It had like a weak spot.
Right. It
So
knocked
they-
off a scale.
Yeah, and I think you see Bard with the black arrow or something. He gives it to his son.
Yeah.
There's one left.
And he hit it in the that boat. But then Bilbo, when he's in the cave with the dragon, he sees like where that spot was,
Yeah.
and they like kind of zoom in on it. And
Right
you're
at the heart.
That's
Like,
That's
here
what's
it
gonna be his
is,
downfall.
boy. Yeah, you better be accurate.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
But,
dude. Then
yeah,
the
it's-
whole gang ends up in there.
Yeah.
And then the
As soon as he
fight really
sees him.
starts, just fire.
Yeah.
galore.
Which right when Thorin walks in, Bilbo's trying to leave, and he wouldn't let him
Yeah.
leave. He like put his arm and like put his sword to his chest. He's like, "We're not leaving without
Because he
that
thought he had the
Arkenstone."
Arkenstone or was hiding it from him. Because Bilbo took like 10 minutes to answer him. He was like, "Did you find the Arkenstone?" He just sat there, just staring at him. I'd have been like, okay, so yeah, you found it. Just give it to me. But he didn't. So pissed him off. But yeah, Thorin next to all that gold was bad news. He saw all that gold was in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a lot of good action in there, but I love like in particular when Thorin like fell down that like almost like tunnel, like maybe it was like a well or something. I don't fucking know what the fuck it was. And then the dragon Smaug went down there with them, and then they had to work together, and they pulled him up, and Smaug like blew that fire up, and he like came up at you on the screen, and he barely got out of there in time.
Smaug
I thought that was like dope. That was probably my favorite like instance and amongst all the other cool little action sequences that were going on right there.
And when Thorin was standing on the dragon's mouth, I just wrote that down. I don't know exactly where, but I remember the dragon was looking up and he was standing on the Smaug's mouth. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Where was that? That was.
But yeah, the fire coming up that.
I think that was when it happened.
Yeah, I think it was right.
When he
before or after.
Yeah, he
that.
got flipped up or something. And he landed, and then he got right after that. It looked like he was done. Then they helped like pulley him like out of there, and then I think that's when they blew up. Yeah, that was great shit, dude.
Yeah, the last 45 minutes of this movie was great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like I loved how they worked together to at least attempt to try to take down Smaug.
They poured that hot gold.
Yeah.
Oh, the giant statue.
Yeah, this is like some peak.
that scene right there with the dragon and the gold, that was well done. That was beautiful. Like I've never seen gold so shiny before. Like it was
like
awesome.
I wanted the gold too.
Yeah,
shit. I could see how like I'm like, damn, bro, look at all this. Even if it wasn't worth anything, it's just there's something so entrancing about it. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's pretty much that one. I mean, did you? I got something else to say?
Smaug leaves.
Yeah, so when he got covered in that gold first time watching it, did you think that killed him? Did you think?
No. No, because I thought he was going to be way more involved in the third one.
No, see, I at first I was like, okay, that's it for the dragon.
Yeah.
Like the gold's going to harden and he's dead. But then he busted out of there, like you were saying. And when he's flying in the air and he shakes all that gold off,
that's awesome too.
Sick.
The gold flakes coming down.
And the reason I was asking that is because I was going to get to what you were about to say, where he flies in. But that was going to touch on my last little point because it literally is the last thing you could say. So I wanted to make sure before we broke into that. I actually love the cliffhanger here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is Peter Jackson is also the GOAT of cliffhangers.
Now, I might be, prisoner of the moment type of deal where, like, I might have left the theater. I don't know how to feel. Like, when's this next one coming out? Fuck. But, like, right now where I'm like, I'll watch it tomorrow. It was fucking awesome. I was like, hell yeah, dude. I can't. Like, it had me wanting the next one. I was like, shit. Just watching how, like, hopeless, like, Bilbo... And all that look, just watching him flying away.
And he's like,
dude.
what have we done? Cut to black. And you're like, boom.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we have it, though. We can just watch it right back to back.
Damn, son.
Yep. No, it's the Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies.
Smaug don't
I
give
counted
a
7.
Fuck.
Dude, Smaug right out
off rip.
Off the
they picked
bat.
Right up where it left off.
Destroyed that island so fast.
Oh, yeah. He destroyed Lake Town. Absolutely.
It was brutal. And then that one guy shooting the arrows, they didn't do nothing.
Yeah, dude.
Bard?
Yeah.
Because they weren't.
They weren't the black arrow, and he didn't. He didn't even know that the Smaug was damaged right there until he saw it. He was like, okay, that's...
So before he was shooting those arrows, I liked how he escaped from that little prison cell.
Yeah.
He threw... Yeah, he like choked the king or whatever and ended up ripping the side of the little jail cell off. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
The king trying to ride away in his boat full of
that king.
hundreds and hundreds of pounds of gold.
Yeah,
Alfred's like, the boat's too heavy. You got to lose something. And the king's like, yeah, you're right. Throws Alfred off the boat.
Which in turn helps Alfred and kills the king.
Alfred would have been dead.
Yeah.
But
the son, dude, for
Bard?
Yeah, for them to have that father-son moment.
Dude, I have that emotional scene. It's so good.
Yeah, like he was just trying to get him to stay still. Like they just worked together so perfectly there. And
he had to
have been proud of him. Like,
the son's on the boat with, what was the female elf's name?
Tariel.
And Tariel said his arrows aren't penetrating it. And that's when it clicked for the son. He's like, that black arrow, I hit it in that boat.
Dude,
so he jumped up.
Had to light up.
He jumped up
like
off that boat, ran straight to his dad. Yeah. you know his dad, Bard, was relieved, like, but also terrified, like, why the fuck are you here? Like, you're going to get killed, but at the same time, you're going to help save the day.
That's my boy. But, you know, like, you get that feeling, like, that's why I said that real quick, but I want to let you finish before I just cut you off. Like, you get that, like, where are my keys? I need my keys. Or, like,
they're locked in my car.
Yeah, I locked my keys in my car. That's another story for another time. Or you're like, oh yeah, that's over there. Like, and your eyes light up. Like, the remote. That's right. I left it. It fell on the couch. Like, that feeling of that. Like, imagine that in that situation. Like, I can save everyone's life, and I'm the only one that can do it. My fucking, like, my whole skull might peel back. My eyebrows might shoot in the fucking air. Like, how much I'm like, whoa! Like, this is going to be a game changer. Wait till you figure out what I got, because I'm about to save us all. Like, dude, that level of, like, oh, shit. I'm gonna save the day. Like, I can't even imagine.
What if he missed?
Man.
I mean, movie over.
Go find it.
Well, yeah, the whole makeshift bow that he has to make. Because his actual bow breaks, so he has to, like, tie that shit off and then use his son
as
a
sand. Stay still, buddy.
But it was such a good scene, though, because, like, you saw the trust in his son. Like, you kind of saw, like, yeah, I trust you, Dad.
Because
like,
at one point, the son turns around. And Bard's like, look at me.
Yeah.
Stay focused. Because you can't be shaking. Like, you got to be calm. Yeah, a little to your left. Yep. Yeah, nail Smog right in that soft spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the way he got him to Smog was so disappointed, dude. And then he flew up in the sky, like, I guess to, like, that never happened.
It was epic looking, like, the way it looked, him falling out of the sky. And then, dude, for him to crash on that boat, I know we were talking about how they're like, those are dickheads, you know what I mean? Like, fuck them. But how bad would that suck? Like, just knowing, like, oh, the terror is over, but the dead body of the terror is going to kill me. Like, what kind of luck is that, dude? But it was, as a viewer of the movie, like, hell yeah, that's a good way for that to end.
And Thorin, he's starting to turn evil.
Mm-hmm. He has everybody searching for that.
Yeah,
for
the Arkenstone.
He's consumed.
Yeah. And you realize Bilbo has it at that point.
Bilbo goes behind his back to prevent the war and gives it to the elves to present it to Thorin, but Thorin don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Or does he?
Oh, the Arkenstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, because remember Bilbo comes out and
he tells him.
Thorin lost his mind,
he's like, look, man, I did it. And which is dude, great, like, awesome on him, dude. Like, dude, big balls doing that shit.
Yeah.
He killed that.
It was only right, too, that Bard took over as, like, new leader of Lake Town. And I love that he did.
Yeah, the whole town liked him.
Yeah, it just jumped into that role. Like, I'm doing this. Like, it just
he's a good leader.
Well, and he saved Alfred, because, like, the town was about to rip Alfred apart. Yeah. And he's like, no, there's been enough killing going on. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah, dude. And... let me see here. I'm trying to think of how far I'm skipping ahead with this shit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm scared to do it. I really enjoyed watching Galadriel, Elrond, and however you say his name, Saruman.
These
on when they all fought together.
Dol Guldur.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like the Lord of the Rings vibes were like heavy there when all of them fought. Like I felt like I was back in that universe more than ever. Like it was just cool seeing them as a trio just go at it like that.
Well, that's why I got that Lady Galadriel is now, in my opinion, the most powerful in Middle Earth. I think she...
Is that where you see her, like, change appearance?
Yeah, dude. When she becomes, like, dark elf.
Yeah, she's, like, does, like, a game of wits.
Yeah. Dude, she, with ease, took Sauron out. Like, and he's, like, the most powerful. Like, she took him out no problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was awesome seeing all them fight together.
I mean, she did.
She had a little bit of an issue.
You know what I mean?
But
I know what you mean, though. Like, she just took care of business.
Yes, 100%. But then the fight, getting to see... what is his name? What did you say his name? The elf. I can't remember his.
Legolas?
Mr. Smith.
Oh, you're talking about Laura Elrond.
Yeah, Elrond. Yeah, seeing him fight was awesome.
Who? Mm-hmm. Hugo Weaving from The Matrix. It's not as if you watch Lord of the Rings, it'd be like you'd be off his nuts.
He's the one that was fighting with Galadriel and Saruman against the Witch King.
You lost me with these names.
Rodney, keep talking.
Is it the white? Does it do with the white hair? Who's that?
No, he
was the white.
Yeah, he's Well, he was the only
the
elf
long
up
white
there.
hair. That's whatever. How the fuck do you say his name? Saruman or Sauron? I get them mixed up.
Sauron is the one that's the
That's
bad
the
guy.
bad guy.
Yeah,
But
and
that's
then
what I'm
Saruman is the
White Wizard?
I thought it was just Sauron.
it's Saruman the White.
Okay,
White.
yeah, I know
Okay.
the white. Yeah, but no, there's another dude. You need to pull this up on
Yeah,
like,
what's
your
his name?
phone or
Oh,
something.
I'll-
Just type
I'm just
in
looking.
Elrond from Lord of the Rings.
Elrond
You'll know him
Hubbard?
as soon as you see him, but he's way more prominent in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, you'll see him on there. But it was just cool, like being a Lord of the Rings
Yeah,
fan,
yeah.
seeing
Okay.
all of them
Yeah.
go at it together because they're all from that.
Gotcha.
You know, normally you get like one character in a fight with like new characters, but having all three of them at the same time, it kind of like you're already in that world, but it takes you even more back to that.
He's
So
6,500 years old.
man, he's aging beautifully though, ain't he? And kind of what we were talking about, kind of fucked up. Thorin couldn't help Bard, dude. Couldn't keep his word. That's just.
Straight went back
And
on
I hated
it,
that
dude.
for Bilbo too, because he put his neck out
He
there.
put his
for
word on him.
Fucking hated that shit, dude. And this is we're starting to get to where you were talking about you're up and down on Thorin. There was times where I was like, okay, maybe, but I'm cool enough with him. This was like the one time where I was like, okay, dude, I'm off your bandwagon. Like, how could you be on his bandwagon at this point? Because it just gets progressively worse. Where you're like, is this even happening right now, dude? This dude has went so far off the deep end. I can't even
So
comprehend.
fast too. So fast.
Like it flipped a switch, and he was just a complete
It's like a problem I have
asshole,
with the movie, actually.
dude. Really, you think
It's-
so?
Yeah, it's a pretty big problem actually. 'Cause
I did until how it panned out.
I think for what we've been through so far, he's been back and forth, but then he's trusting him. But then out of nowhere, like it's like cut to scene, and Thorne is all of a sudden this, he's not even the same person as he was, and it happened so fast. They didn't give it like time for it to happen after him being there.
Well, is that maybe because they're showing the power of the
Yeah.
gold, like how quick that worked?
Yeah, but his
the corruption of it?
grandfather was fine until the Arkenstone.
He's not his grandfather.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I mean
That's
that's
facts.
a point,
Yeah,
but
I
it's,
think so too.
I don't know.
I agreed with that.
But yeah, all the survivors from the dragon attack were making their way to the mountain, and Thorn wasn't pleased with that. So he they put all those stones or whatever in
Yes.
front of like the door to make sure nobody could get in. Like he was guarding his gold.
Yeah, dude. For him to want to go to war, dude, it wasn't too much to ask. Dude.
all you had to do is give
Yeah.
Thranduil is, White Star,
Yeah,
the
What are
Starlight.
you doing, man? Like, it's not even like you have so much. I mean, again, that's the power of it. I like how Thorin is also talking to Bilbo, of all people. Though, he's talking to Bilbo, basically talking about like how one of his own deceived him,
Yeah.
talking about taking the Arkenstone. Little as like
He's talking to the guy.
yeah. But I kind of took that two ways though. I wanted to ask how y'all take that, because when I first saw it, I was like, dude, right there. But also, it kind of felt like you also could take it where he's saying it to him to get Bilbo to be like, oh shit, he knows he's saying this to me for me to like be like, yeah, it must have been one of your own. He wanted him to like cave under pressure to be.
I don't
one of
think
those
he
kind
knew
of things.
Bilbo had it.
Yeah,
No.
or like not that he knew, but he just he was like, I can cover a loose end here in case he does have it, because you can. That is a tactic you can definitely use to get somebody to talk. Just be like, because it would never be you, right? And it's
I
like,
think-
yeah, of course.
I think the last person he thought took
Yeah.
it was Bilbo, so he was going to him in confidence.
Yeah.
Like, you're the one I know didn't take it.
Yeah.
Which one of my guys do you think did take it?
I'm like 60-40 in that direction. But then, like, as I thought about it more, like, as time passed past that scene, I was like, I wonder if he was trying this. So I was curious on what y'all thought. Because there was a hint of that, I feel like, towards the end of it. I was like, maybe he is doing this, but wasn't sure, dude.
And then you get to the scene where Thorne's talking to Bilbo, and he starts sounding like Smaug, where he's like, I'm not going to part
Yeah.
Yeah, that
with
was
one
cool.
coin. And I think that was the final straw for Bilbo, and what made him sneak out of the mountain and go give the Arkham Stone to whatever.
Yeah.
Thranduil.
Yeah, to his name. But, like, the whole... Because they use, like, Smaug's voice, essentially, at that point. I thought that was a cool
Yeah, it was a dope time.
touch. Like, pull back at that.
Yeah, dude. And Bilbo going with Gandalf and all that. Like, you gotta like Bilbo, dude. He just seems genuine.
Good guy.
Yeah, just wants the peace,
with
dude.
big feet.
And
Yeah.
Gandalf's over there just like, I mean, Thorin might, like, no, seriously, like, he could kill you or all this shit. And Bill's like, he wouldn't do that. It's like,
Well, he's right, though.
I mean, maybe Bilbo's, I was thinking that he might have bit off more than he can chew here. Like, maybe he is in some deep shit. And I honestly was kind of surprised he just came flat out and was like, it was me. No, it was me.
I think he knew that if Thorin tried to kill him like he did, then everybody would stop
else.
him like they did.
He was truly everybody's friend.
Yeah.
All the dwarves knew that, and so they kind of protected him in that moment.
Dude, and Gandalf, bless his fucking wizard heart, dude, is just trying his best to be some semblance of a voice of reason through the midst of this, as like you can feel like, okay, this isn't going over well. We're about to have a war here. He's like running around to everybody like, no, stop. Like, it's not worth it. Like, it's like, I don't think it's working, Gan, but you know. Dude, they had some like Tremors-esque monsters pop out of the ground, dude.
I was saying the same thing.
The wereworms.
Yeah, dude. I was like, again, the horror family. I'm like, I thought I was waiting for those to come out and start eating people. I was hyped. I was like, oh, I guess that's not happening. But I wanted to see it, dude.
Right before that is where Thorin chooses war, and then you see his backup arrive over that mountain cliff, the Iron Foot.
Yeah, that was
it was his cousin,
Dane.
Thorin's cousin.
Perfect time, dude.
I love Dane.
And
then
He's
square
amazing.
up.
And then the elves and the dwarves have that bit of a fight, and the elves shoot all those arrows towards them, and the dwarves had the bigger spinning arrow that like knocked them out of the sky, which I thought was a very smart war tactic there, because they knew the elves were going to have the arrows, and they had a defense mechanism for that.
Dude, the formations for the elves and the dwarves were incredible. The way the elves work together and everything. I like the elvish better because like they're running at him, they're about to attack him, and then as soon as they go to attack him, it's like they all like split in parts. So like Messing surrounds them and then split. They're like what are those krill in the ocean? Like they just almost impossible to catch. And but yeah, the dwarves though, the beast.
Dude. And then, of course, more armies enter the chat.
And then the wereworms come and they unleash the orc army. So then the elves and the dwarves kind of band together to fight off the orcs.
And I loved how they did that, dude. Like, you didn't know if the elves were going to chip in, and it looked like the elves weren't going to chip in at first, dude.
But
which was a callback to, what was it, the first movie where Thorn was like, they didn't help my family or whatever, like that original callback. So you were almost thinking like that's an elf quality. They're not going to help if they don't need to, but they end up helping there.
But the shot of that where they're just like in their formation with like, you know, their pokers out, their spears. And just out of nowhere, dude, like the elves hop like over top of them, and you're just like, okay, dude, everybody's going at it now. And this basically starts what literally was me saying, just like, is this going to be the rest of the movie? And then as it kept going, I was like,
I
think this can be the rest of the movie.
And I loved it.
Yeah, it was like an hour long.
Visually stunning.
Yeah,
all
so
the like the giant orcs and stuff. They had that one orc that had the thing on its head, and he ran head first into the wall to like open it up. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. Yeah, he knocked himself out.
There was one scene in the battle where the dwarf that was on like the warthog thing, and he had that big hammer. Like the music stops playing, and you just see him like riding with the hammer and just nailing dudes in the head. And it sounded so cool with like the music turned off and everything.
They do that a lot in these movies.
I love they drop.
Yeah, they drop it in like an instant too. Like the beat's gone and then it's just battle.
Yeah,
and it sounds so good. Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
The whole like goat chariot thing.
Yes.
On the ice.
The Rams.
So
looks so good.
That scene reminded me of the whole barrel scene from the second one. It kind of had some similarities
with
to that.
The Rams or the goats or whatever.
The Rams.
Another thing I was gonna talk. This is kind of what made me be cool with the Thorin turning into a dick thing. At first, I was like, I'm just not feeling this, but it kind of like elevated other characters in a way. Like I loved how like Dwaylen, whatever the fuck how you say his name, confronted Thorin like one last time, and like for him to want to go against him even, but in the end, I feel like his words were impactful enough to finally kind of, turn him. And like, for the love of God, like he finally saw the error in his ways. Yeah. And I was wondering, honestly, if he was ever going to come around. Like I legitimately had doubts, and that honestly raised that character of like Dwalin. I keep feeling like that's wrong. I want to say Dwalin. Dwalin. Like that made me, so we like sacrificed that he got lost in greed, but at least there's a reason why, because of the power of all that and how effective it is, and it elevated especially that character. I feel like after that scene, like I cared about the Dwalin character so much more. Like I just, like that was like his moment. Like I think back on these 3 movies where I was like, he was the one that could finally break through, and like the words he spoke with them, it really elevated him to make him more of a special character to me, I think. Yeah. And I believe that guy is played by the same guy that you hate in Rambo, the 4th Rambo movie, dude. The bald guy that talks shit, I think it's the same guy, and I don't know if you realize that because he looks so different.
Dude, the makeup on Dwalin was awful in this movie, dude. That headpiece
that hell headpiece is fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
great moment.
Thorin then has that moment where he's hearing all the words about how he's changed and he's corrupted and everything.
Yeah.
And then he ends up throwing the crown off. And
seeing
then
his metaphorical death, pretty much.
And then leads his crew into battle, and that's where the comeback kind of happens, because the orcs were winning at that point, and it looked like they were going to take over, but everybody rallied behind Thorin, and they
and Thorin heads straight for Azog.
I was like, yes, let's go.
What about the one guy, the coward guy?
Alfred.
Yeah, he drops that gold coin onto the slingshot thing.
And
gets slammed right into that.
Dude, I hated that. That coin is not gonna make that thing go off. Like, I know it's a
kill.
A Hobbit movie. It really wasn't though. Like just
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
He goes into the like, how do you die from that? Like unless the fall killed him. Like imagine he broke his back whenever he fell face first.
I don't know. I've never been thrown into a.
That's true.
Giant smell.
Couldn't tell.
But Alfred, that's so.
I thought it was cool.
He has my favorite line in the movie where he says, because I gotta find it. Oh yeah,
you do.
What's his name? Bard finds him and calls him a coward pretty much, and he's like, not every man is brave enough to wear a corset.
Exactly. That's the line.
That shit had me rolling. I was like, oh my god.
That dude was a douche, but I liked that part.
Yeah.
Like
and I liked the
I'm glad he died though.
Kind of part too.
I was watching this movie's like 2 hours and 40 minutes, and like for 2 hours it's
the
nothing.
Shortest one.
It's just nothing but battles. And I was like, name another movie that has a better battle on a scale this big.
Return of the King.
Yeah.
What's that?
Lord of the Rings 3.
Really? See, that's
you
what
have
I'm saying.
no idea,
month.
bro.
Yeah.
Really?
This is 4.5 hours, and it's
People
probably
say
3 hours and 15 minutes solid
pure
of straight
battles.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
there's people who
next
say
month,
the Two
Tyler.
Towers battle is better though.
It's nowhere near as long.
But, yeah, Return of the King.
See, that's why I haven't seen them. That's why I was like, dude. Up until this point, I've never seen a movie like this. 2 hours of nothing but the most beautiful fight scenes, creative fight scenes, battles.
Like, what is going on?
I like this one's it. This top tier, but
like, is this apparently?
Yeah.
But like I said, I was legitimately like, all right, is this the rest of the movie?
It was.
It pretty much was.
Yeah, basically, dude. I mean, come on, dude. And then, of course, Thorin, when he takes off for Azog, Bilbo has to go warn Thorin by turning invisible. It was kind of weird because I had honestly forgotten about the ring at this point, as crazy as that sounds. Like, it wasn't even, like, on my mind.
I did, too, because Gandalf, I think Gandalf tells him, you'll be killed, and he goes, no, I won't. And I was like, oh, because he's sneaky. He's going to get there.
Yeah,
but the whole time he was
like,
meaning, I'm going to put the ring on. I was like, oh, shit.
I was like,
right.
yeah, like the most important
still got the
part
ring.
of like this whole franchise is still a thing. Yeah, I was so lost in all the battle, dude.
What about the skin changer coming and dropping in?
Yes.
That badass bear
It was
thing.
amazing, yeah.
Like, there he is.
Coming in on the Eagles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, before that, though, Azog kills Philly in
Yeah.
front of Thorn, like held him off the like cliff or whatever.
And that was dope.
And then Achilles, because that was his brother, is pissed, so he charges in. Probably shouldn't have done that,
No.
because he was just full of rage at that point. And then he ends up getting killed in front of his love interest.
Tariel, and I completely forgot about both of them dying. Like I thought it was just Philly that dies, but then when Killy got stabbed, I was like, oh no, because I genuinely had forgotten that both of them died. So that was pretty cool that I got to feel that way.
That was one of my notes. I loved how they were actually killing characters off.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
scared
'Cause they didn't
everyone
do
was
that,
going to
yeah.
make it out unscathed. It was going to play it safe. But they actually offed a few people here, which I definitely admire and I applaud.
Right.
Some great shit.
But yeah, then those giant eagles come in again to save the day and dropping Bjorn, is that his name?
Bjorn, yeah.
Bjorn,
Yeah.
dropping him in, and he turns to that bear,
No, that
just
was
starts
dope.
Mid-flight,
fucking
dude, yes.
shit up.
That was
Awesome.
But yeah, they take care of that whole like second ambush.
Yeah, and is this where we get to the ice battle?
Yeah,
I
you get
think?
Legolas
Right after
versus
that?
Borg Part 2.
Well, there's
So-
also, we kind of maybe want to talk about, I mean, as much as you can dive into it, what the fuck? Azog's.
Balin, too.
Yeah, I was going to say Azog's right hand going up against Toriel. I don't know if y'all wanted to.
Well, that's what I was saying. The
dive
fight
more
with
into
Legolas
that.
versus Borg is
Yeah.
because of Tariel
Yeah,
versus
that
So
was
one-
so awesome.
one
The whole
scene that I think
dynamic of that
we've already
was
passed it.
So good.
That I thought was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Legolas was being carried by that bat. Have we passed that already? I didn't write it down. But remember, he turns he turns upside down, and there's like the whole army walking in a line.
Yes,
and he kills like 30 people, like
yeah,
real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, that was dope.
I was like,
Yeah, that's fucking
When he
Legolas,
chopped
dude.
those heads off, I was like, oh, they actually showed it. I guess because it's not like legit blood.
Well, no, if it's a creature getting beheaded, then it's fine. But
Yeah,
if
you
it's
know
a
what I
human,
mean?
it's different.
But for a half a second, I was like, they just chopped all that to pieces. I was like, okay.
But I thought
makes
that
sense.
was really cool. Like,
yeah,
he
dude, no, that was
killed like 30.
Yeah.
that was
Okay.
amazing.
Fucking dope. Dude.
But yeah, then Balin, man, but he goes out like a G though. Like Balin, I was pretty happy about that. The old man, the old dwarf.
Yeah.
Whenever he's the last man standing and tells them all to go on and get out, and then he turns and shoots the arrows.
Oh, yeah.
All
But
that.
he
Dude,
ends
was
up
killing
living.
them.
Yeah, he
though,
didn't-
right? Yeah,
he didn't
lived,
die.
though.
He didn't die.
Nope.
No, he
He's
didn't.
at the end of the movie. That's why you were confusing me there.
You're supposed to be the one that's seen this movie.
I just watched this today too. So
No,
I'm
you
forgetting
think
a lot.
I
you
thought he
think he's
died.
gonna die, but he's there at the end.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily remember him having a moment where he like, oh, I'm back. It just kind of he was there.
You
at
just
the
saw
funeral.
him. Because I thought he was dead too.
I might
But then,
not- I don't know.
but then you see him at the end.
Yeah, because I thought that was his swan song. But I mean that's cool. I was,
Holy shit!
yeah, you're like, wow, that just changed the whole
Dude,
game.
but yeah.
He was balling, bro.
I
He
thought-
couldn't be killed.
I don't know.
Can't touch him. Dude.
Are we at the Thorin Azog fight yet?
Yes.
I was
We-
talking. Well, we were talking about. Yeah, I mean that caps the ice thing, which that was cool. I was also gonna say I love the look of like that big, whatever the fuck orc ogre or whatever the hell that
Bolg
thing is,
or
whatever
Borg.
that huge thing is. That's just like that's like trying to catch him in the ice when he's like
Oh,
falling
yeah.
through and he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
running after him. I thought that visually was dope as fuck. But yeah, that's basically all that happened in there. But yeah, the fight. Go ahead, man.
Well, yeah, Azog's got the fucking chain with the huge boulder on the end of it.
Dude,
And like you could tell from the beginning of the fight because he's hitting the ice that the ice
Yeah.
was going to break and
It's like a matter
something's
of
going to
time.
happen there. And then Thorn was smart enough to like throw the block
Yeah,
or
right
whatever
back
at
at
him
him.
and pushed him and like jumped off the ice.
well, he like stepped off it. The way
So,
he did it
yeah,
was so
he's
cool.
like, see ya.
yeah,
And then I love the shot of Azog floating under the ice.
Yes.
And like he just closes
knew he
his eyes
wouldn't.
and you're like, oh
Yeah,
fuck, he's
you
coming
knew.
back. And then jumps up out of the ice. I thought that was
Yeah.
dope. Or he stabbed him in the foot
yeah.
right before he jumped out. And then
And
jumped
then-
up from the ice.
Jumps out, stabs Thorn. Or no, that he goes to stab him and Thorn stops him, but then realizes the only way I can kill him is
Is to
if I
let
let
him
him stab
stab
me. And so slowly moves his sword. Azog stabs him, but then he pulls Azog down and just right through the heart.
Yeah, that was sick.
Done. That was it.
It was dope, dude.
Yeah.
And
then-
I gotta tell you, man. No, you can go ahead.
Thorn
just in case
ends
you
up
had
dying, but
Yes,
who's right
that's
next
what
to
I was
him?
gonna say.
Bilbo.
Bilbo.
Yeah.
And then that's
They've
the
had-
callback I was talking about.
They've had the up and down through the whole 10-hour journey, and he dies next to a a true
a true friend, as he called him.
Yeah, and again, where he started out, he couldn't trust Bilbo at all, and then he ended up being the person right that not only saved him in the first one, is the one that's right there with him. And I really liked Thorin's death scene, dude. The moment he shared with him, it was great. And one of the lines he used that I love so much, I can't remember the exact verbatim way he said it, but he was like, "Go home with your garden." When he said that,
your garden and your plants.
Yeah, because earlier he had shown him like it was like a walnut or something, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the acorn he thought was the Arkenstone.
Acorn. Yeah, he's just like, it's just this, and he's like, I just want to be able to go home. You know, it reminds me, like he said a bunch of different shit about it that just makes him happy, reminds him of a better time, and ultimately reminds him that he made it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
a callback when Thorin was like, if there was more people in this world who cherished their homes instead of wealth, then this world would be a much merrier place, is what he said.
He learned his lesson. He had that moment where when he said, like, enjoy your garden or whatever, like, that, like, hit me. I was like, damn, okay, there's that callback. Because he knew that, like, out of everybody, like, he deserved to go back. Because it even was said from, like, when he signed up for this shit, he was like, we don't know if you're going to make it back or not. And that was just
he didn't even want to go at the beginning.
And they literally told him, I can't tell you you're not going to make it back. There's a good chance you don't. And that was basically Thorin's, like, parting gift. Like, I'll take the fall for this. You go have your moment, man.
And then all the fallen dwarves get their proper burial or whatever, and you see on Thorin's chest the Arkenstone.
Yeah.
They laid it to rest with him, which he finally gets it once he dies, which I thought was a poetic.
That's where it needs to be, though, not anywhere
in someone else's possession.
Yeah, like someone that's not alive, though.
Yeah.
So
it all ended pretty damn well, dude. Didn't play it safe across the board. So good.
This is where you see who was the guy you thought died, the dwarf.
Balin.
Yeah.
Where you see that he didn't die was Bilbo's talking to him and tells him goodbye, and he says, "Tell everybody else bye for me."
That's right.
And he's like, "You tell him," and everyone's standing there. And I love the little speech Bilbo gives him. He's like, "Y'all are welcome at my house anytime." And he says, "Don't bother knocking," because at the first movie, they're all knocking one by one. He's letting him in. He's like, "Come over, just come in," and it comes full circle from that first movie. I thought that was a nice
and
touch.
then where it comes full circle with
again
Lord of the Rings,
which I haven't seen. So
he's sitting there at the table, and you hear Gandalf at the door, seeing the different perspective, and him getting excited. It's just like, wow, like. So that caps it. That's why he's that old
There
friend.
and back again.
And it leaves you ready to just like, let's run it back, Lord of the Rings now. Let's do the damn thing.
And then after Bilbo says bye to the dwarves, he talks to Gandalf for a minute, and that's where Gandalf tells him, I've known you had the ring the whole time. I think he says, I've had my eye on you, like watching you or something. Because Bilbo says, you weren't watching me because I lost it at one point. Or says something like that to him. But yeah. Bilbo gets back to his house, and they're auctioning off all of his stuff.
Oh, yeah. He's like, nope, not for sale.
But yeah.
Not for sale.
Great franchise. We giving our scores for them?
Yep.
Okay,
Who wants to go first?
Them, I guess.
Unexpected Journey.
I'm actually curious what Tyler's got out of everybody.
You want him to go last?
Yeah, because he definitely talked
I'll
the
go
least.
first.
But
Unexpected Journey starts off very slow for me, but like I said, if I rewatched it, I'd probably get a higher score for it. But first half of the movie, it's like a 5. It's just average, but then it picks up at the end. So overall, I'd give it a 6.9, 7 range for The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Rodney,
You gonna keep going?
Tyler.
Yeah, the
just
Unexpected
one
Journey
at a
for
time?
me is an 8.5.
An 8.5 for
Yeah.
you? Jesus Christ.
I really enjoy
Dang,
the first one.
All right. For me, The Unexpected Journey is a 7.3. It was an 5.0 through the first half.
So we're same boat.
I was like average as shit, but it raised. I was like, I'm looking at like a 6.8 to 7.0 here, and I ended up settling on a 7.0. If you can tell, it's kind of scribbled through it. I thought about it more over since I had like a couple days, and I was like, I think I gotta bump this up a few points. The more and more I thought about it, settled on a 7.3 for Unexpected Journey.
Yeah, Unexpected Journey, I gave it a 6.5.
Okay, a little lower.
He liked it though. Oh, shit.
Desolation of Smog. Fucking loved this movie. Didn't have the slow start that the first one had, so that I think really got me more into the movie. The whole dragon aspect of it, which I loved. It gets an 8.8 from me.
Nice.
Damn.
Beautiful score right there, sir.
Yeah, mine's same. 8.5 for this one. I like this second one just as much as the first. It's hard. They can switch at any point in time for me.
Nice. All right, for me, this one moved into great territory rather than good as well. I gave it an 8.1. Again, like what he said, I think I liked the jump into it a little better. And I got to tell you, there was a middle portion, I think, when they first met Bard, where it started to kind of drag a little bit for me for the first time. Even though Bard was a great character, I just was wondering like what the next step was, and I feel like it wasn't happening. I wonder if that might have been the extended version where they were added in scenes that was like for people that loved it and they saw that and got dug into it more. Whereas somebody like me, I'm like, come on, man, like let's get to the next spot, and I bet that's what it was. But I mean, once that ending happened, it picked it up and elevated it just like the first one did. But it was even better ending. Desolation of Smog got an 8.1 out of 10 for me. Great fucking movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than the first one. I gave it a 7.0.
7.0, damn. All right, then we get to the Battle of the Five Armies. This movie's fast-paced, non-stop action, so if that's what you like, you'll love this movie. Something about it, though, I don't like it as much as the second one. Still great to me, but I'm giving it an 8.5.
Nice.
It's about 7.8 for me for the third one.
Really?
So it's your least favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Man, surprise on that one. Okay. This one ended up being my favorite, and it wasn't until the last battle. I think I had the second one I felt pretty clear cut as my first, but around the time where I was kind of having that thought, like I said, where I was like, is this the rest of the movie? I was like, hang on, man. I might have to evaluate if this keeps going in a good direction and this battle turns out okay. I think it's going to be a couple steps above just because it's a little more epic. And in the end, I mean, I love how it wrapped up, too. I love Thorin's death, the moment they had. When you hit an ending that just wraps up on that, like, perfect note, it's hard being in the middle of the chapter, man. I got to give Battle of the Five Armies an 8.3 out of 10. I also thought it was great.
Yeah, the Battle of the Five Armies was my favorite. I got to give it the same score as Rodney, a 7.8.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And we won't rank these, but I'm pretty sure you can put two and two together if you think, you're smart enough.
Did you tell them what we're doing next month?
Yeah.
Or are you getting into that now?
Get into that now, and that's the reason why we're not ranking them. You'll probably forget by then anyways. Right, or maybe you're super smart and won't, again, with that smart stuff. We're going to be doing this, except Lord of the Rings, because we also have that in 4K with extended editions. And those are even longer, which I didn't realize, dude. Rodney broke it down. We were at Home Run Burgers, and he's like, actually, the extended edition's like 4 hours plus on some of these.
The third one, Return of the King, is 4 hours and 20 minutes long.
I didn't remember it being that long. I knew it was long, but I thought it was like 3 hours and some change. And that's the ones we're doing. We have to. So Tyler's loving it, as you can see. But we're going to rank them all together. Just because it feels right. Like, I use the example of Creed and Rocky. I feel like you'd rank those together. I think you should rank these together in the same universe, same character, same director. Why not rank them together? And plus, it could make for a fun time if somehow, like, the Hobbit movies beat it out. Not even for me and Rodney. I don't know what Rodney thinks. Maybe I'm surprised myself here when I rewatch them. But say Josh or Tyler's like, actually, I like all three Hobbit movies better than Lord of the Rings. That could create some controversy. It could be good fun. It could stir the pot. So let's rank them all together next month, and we will be back with you next month with Lord of the Rings.
Plug it, Tyler.
It's gonna be dope, dude. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, the Instagram, the official Box Office Banter. Follow us there. YouTube, Box Office Banter. Every video we make, we post there. We're at 214 subscribers. which is crazy.
Moving up in the world.
Almost 38,000 video or views on our.
I was
Rambo.
Didn't we just say we're on episode 56? I was way off.
Facebook, Box Office Banner Movies. Join the group there. Spotify, the official Box Office Banner. ProjectLouder.net. The whole network. Every podcast on the network's on there. And Facebook, Project Louder page. Our podcast and every podcast on the Project Louder network. It's put up there. That's it.
He did it to me first. Are y'all excited?